4 is about budgeting. There's a saying that goes, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So here are my 38 lessons learned. Budgeting is my underwriting for a property, and it should be done well in advance of closing the property. There's a slight difference between budgeting and underwriting. Budgeting is where, or let's go first with underwriting. Underwriting is my initial pass at my business plan and the assumptions. Now, budgeting is where I really dig into the business plan and think things through on a month-to-month or year-over-year basis. Second, my business plan is fluid. It's a living thing. It's constantly changing, and I may need to pivot and adjust my plan based on the market, the property performance. And this means my budget for certain items will change. Third, I should not rely solely on the property management company to build out my budget for each year. Fourth, my input is crucial. I have the most knowledge of my business plan and how it needs to be executed to achieve my goals. Fifth, my property management company's input in my budgeting process is important and will help me get on the right track. Six, I need to have a conversation with the property management company about my plan and whether each item is achievable or unrealistic. Seventh, once I have my initial budget set and the property under contract, then I have to have a detailed meeting with the property management team to go over on several different things. The final cost of payroll, renovations, and utilities to make sure I and the property management are dialed in. Eighth, when it comes to budgeting, every property and business plan are different, and so is every market. Ninth, each property will present itself with different challenges. 10th, get into the details. Budgeting is not just my year of projections locked in, and then the building in a static percentage increase across the board for the remainder of the hold. Remember, this is not like that. Many asset managers do this, where there's a static percentage increase across the board. 11th lesson, it is always the best practice to think about where the property will be in the future. Do I need a full staff in every year of the hold? Or do I need to be heavily staffed during the stabilization or value add and can temper off once this phase is complete? Can I implement a utility savings plan? When will the utility savings plan be complete enough for me to start realizing those savings? 12th lesson, budgeting is peeling back the onion a few layers further and really digging into each line item. In some cases, my business plan may increase certain expense items, such as if I plan to re-tenant my property after I have done most of the exterior renovations and fix the deferred maintenance, then my marketing budget may increase in the years 2 to 3 to produce more leads and traffic. Only then can it come back down. So having a straight 3% increase across the board would not make sense in this case. And this same goes for other income. If I plan on adding covered parking, package locker, the income for these amenities would not be added until year 2 or 3 when they are done. 13th lesson, having a flat percentage increase across the board is a mistake. 14th, it shows I have not thoroughly thought through my business plan. 15, business plan is for the life of the hold and not just year 1. 16, if I wait until I own the property to think about the future years, then it will be too late. 17, It is more difficult to make adjustments on the fly than to anticipate them in advance. If I plan on straight increase in my insurance costs of 3% yearly, and they shoot up 5%, where else can I really save from that overage? I am now in a position where the likely place to make that up is the income lines. Income lines. Can I push income anymore? Were I too aggressive there as well? Will I push anyway and see if I can get just a little bit more rent? Do my occupancy drop because I'm too aggressive? Did my turnover increase? 18th, this can start to snowball and it's difficult to find solid ground and get back on track once this begins. 19, I owe it to my investors to think about the business plan in full and thorough disposition. 20th, I should not make mistake of creating my budget and forgetting about it. 21st, budgets are typically drawn out for the course of the entire hold period upfront. So 5-year hold, all 5 years are done prior to closing the property. 22nd, adjusting the budget on a yearly basis based on current performance and new expectations, whether they're good or bad, is a necessary process and should involve my property management company. On CapEx and reserves, I will want to track each item or project separately. 24th, I make sure I keep an eye on where I am in terms of overspending or saving. 25th, this is the only way I will know if I need to adjust other items I plan for or have some excess funds to distribute. 26th, if I was conservative in my initial underwriting, then I would hope I would have plenty of funds of reserve for a rainy day. Spending money like a drunken sailor until it runs out and deciding what to do will not end up well. 28th, I don't need any fancy tool. All can be tracked in Excel and Google Sheets. 29, I need to know my cash position and how it relates to my business plan. 30th, reserves, typically held in escrow by the lender. These funds are set aside to be used for certain projects. I need to manage timing and use of these funds. And this is typical for the agency loan. Now, if I have private capital, insurance group, and local banks, the requirement may be different. If I do not have enough reserves to cover all these items, it is best that I communicate with a lender early and work with them to decide which ones makes more sense to postpone until my reserve funds can cover the cost, such as, do I do HVAC first, roof, or parking lots, or which one can I postpone? 31st, business plans change. Always look ahead, be proactive, think about things that need to happen now in order to produce a certain result in the future. Example, a property in Tucson, Arizona. It took the authors less time to stabilize the property. They pushed rents higher than they initially thought. And the authors decided to get the broker they purchased it from to give thoughts on their business plan. The authors wanted to know if they should pivot since they were well ahead of the schedule. Point. Authors like to list a property with a broker from whom they purchased it. This is business. This business is about relationships, and this goes a long way in establishing trust with the brokers. This broker met with the authors at the property and was impressed with the results. The broker suggested to implement a new premium level to see what kind of rents they could get and what cost to upgrade the unit will be. The author implemented the 5 premium units and listed the property for sale 5 years earlier than planned. 32nd, if I just try to stick to the plan and not look for opportunities, this will definitely pass me by. 33rd, authors pulled additional funds to build the new premium units from cash flow. Although the authors do not suggest this, Also pull the funds from other projects in the budget, contingency funds, funds that ended up not being used on other projects. 34th, on the flip side, I may find a property not performing that I would like, and I've had to spend additional money in other areas, such as unplanned deferred maintenance, security, busted water lines. 35th, all these cases, I have to make decisions about our budget and business plan that are not going to be easy. 36, when in doubt on what to do, ask others that have been in my situation before, the property management or other investors in the network. 37th, conclusion, nothing about asset management is easy. It is here where all the money is made or lost. 38th, building out a well-thought, detailed budget can take a lot of time and energy. And in the end, I will thank myself for thinking through all the minor details in advance. So these are my lessons learned on budgeting.